What's going on, boomers and doomers? On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at one of the coolest airsoft guns? Yeah, we'll go at coolest airsoft guns ever made, like ever. This is going to be the Elite Force M3 MAAWS 65mm gas launcher. Elite Force, with their naming system, you guys already know what this is. You guys are in the know. You know that this is a Carl Gustav recoilless rifle. Well, rifle, there you go. It is indeed an airsoft gun. This Elite Force launcher is going to be quite a big boy, yet despite its grand size, it's actually very lightweight. This is supposed to replicate the M3 variation of the Carl Gustav, the one that has been in service with SOCOM for some time. This real version of this one is actually going to be weighing in at around 20-ish pounds, yet this version is actually around 10, so it's going to be a lot less, most likely due part to the lightweight materials, the polymer used to go and construct this. The real version is going to be a mixture of both metal and polymer. This one's primarily polymer, which is, again, why it's going to be so lightweight, which does make it easier for you to carry around on the field. Don't let the polymer fool you into thinking this is a very weak construction. Not at all. The polymer on this is thick. This is a club. Let's go over the externals on the M3 launcher. Starting from the tip, we are going to be looking at some adjustable front and rear sights. They're only adjustable for elevation, no need for windage on this bad boy. You also get this nice little optic suite on here, just a nice little mount that clips right into place. Get standard Picatinny right on the top so you can mount whatever sort of optic or laser if you so prefer. You might be wondering what this big old wheel is on this optic suite right here. All you have to do is turn one way and it'll adjust the angle that you want to get to so you get that perfect level of elevation that you need. This M3, like its real-life counterpart, sports two pistol grips. One up in the back that is going to have a traditional thumb safety, and one up in the front, it's that iconic angled foregrip just for a little bit of added stability. So there's actually two ways to fire the M3 launcher. There's going to be the traditional trigger you have up in the front, and then an additional trigger right behind the pistol grip. Again, I get it that there's multiple ways to shoot it, but for what intended purpose, not really sure. Any real-life Carl Gustav users out there in the comment section, let us know. Let us know. I'm very curious. Towards the middle of this bad boy, we're looking at a polymer carry handle, which is integrated into the body of this. Very comfortable, enough hand space to go ahead and clear it, so very easy to lug around. We also have this vehicle mount and tripod mount on here, which also doubles up as a shoulder brace. There's a little bit of padding here, so it's nice and comfy. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, that it has a vehicle mount, I really want to start seeing more of these next time I go out to a Milsim event, maybe seeing on the back of a flatbed truck or something. Very cool to see. Up top, we also have a front and rear sling loop, so that way you can go and just loop through your favorite sling and just have it on your shoulder whenever you need, if you're going to be lugging this around for longer durations of time. And then, of course, in the back here, we have the breech needed to load up all your shells. Next up, I'm going to show you how to load the M3 launcher. All you're going to have to do is push this little black lever forward, use the other black lever to open up and slide forward and out. That's pretty much all you got to do. Next thing is to pull out your shell. Now, this is the shell that you're going to be working with here. Now, this is the shell that comes included with the M3 launcher, and this is why this particular launcher is so freaking cool. Look at this thing. It's freaking massive. But in order to access the gas reservoir, this is where it really pays off to know how to read. All you're going to want to do is flip the dial to open, lift the cap out, and it should come easily off. And with enough persuasion, you should be able to remove the gas reservoir. Now, this is going to be exactly what it looks like. This is a elongated 40mm airsoft grenade. Let's address the elephant in the room. This gas reservoir is massive. It's huge. Holds a lot of gas, gives you a lot of ass. It functions just like any standard airsoft grenade with the firing pin up in the rear and the fill valve up top right here. So we're just gonna want to fill it up with a little bit of green gas, and make sure to only use green gas, by the way. Why? Because it says so right here on the label. Just gonna fill it up just with a little bit of gas just to give you a bit of a demonstration. It's a lot of ass. Once you're done firing it, you're going to notice that the fill valve, little rod that's holding it, is going to feel a little loose, a little flaccid, if you will. If you want to go ahead and refill it, all you got to do is pull it up like so, and you're ready to fill up again. Now let's address the other elephant in the room, the ammunition. Now, as big of a shell as you are getting, you might be thinking it's just going to be using a standard, or will function very much like a standard shotgun shower shell like other airsoft grenades. Not the case. It's actually going to be using these big black balls. You can fill this up with pretty much anything you like because it comes in two pieces. Now, ideally, you would be using, 6mm BBs. However, if it fits, she sits. So you can fill this up with pretty much anything that you like, whether it be maybe 8mm BBs, maybe some metal ball bearings, broken glass, rocks, gravel, sand, glitter, boiling hot water, vomit from your sweater, mom's spaghetti, literally anything that you can think of. The possibilities are endless. Once you close it back up, all you gotta do is shove it back down in the tube. From our own testing, we actually recommend when filling these black balls up, go ahead and slightly overfill it. It helps keep it a little bit more snug inside the tube, gives you better results. But if you are worried, because again, these are very loose fitting, you're worried about these separating a little bit too early, highly recommend that you use some Scotch tape or any sort of loose fitting tape just to kind of help keep it all together until it makes impact. Once it makes impact, then it will explode. I shouldn't have to say this, but I know some of you need an extra reminder. Don't shoot anyone directly with this. That's really gonna hurt. It's not cool. Just don't do it. If you're, for whatever reason, afraid of big black balls, not sure why you would be, don't be alarmed. You can still use pretty much any 40mm airsoft grenade that you want in this bad boy. It is going to be compatible. Now, there actually is a bit of rifling inside the shell as well, making it compatible with tagging rounds as well. Very cool to see. Internally, the M3 MAAWS is going to be sporting a version 2 gearbox with a 25K motor. It's also going to come included with a 603 Type 4 inner barrel and a rotary style hop-up chamber. It's just very nice to see that this is going to come included with a standard hop-up chamber. Just very easy to go ahead and swap in. If you can't tell, I'm being sarcastic. So you might be asking yourself, Isaiah, how much does the M3 MAAWS gas launcher chrono in at? To be honest, we don't really know. Conventional airsoft chronographs can't take the big black balls, so there's no way to properly tell. However, Elite Force does specify that it does chrono at about 115 FPS, so we're just gonna roll with it. At 115 FPS, this is gonna be CQB legal. Do not shoot this at anyone. Don't be an idiot. Don't shoot this at glass. Just, again, don't be an idiot. I am absolutely dying to get some range time with this bad boy. So boys, grab the camera, let's get going. Alright guys, we're in the back of our warehouse right now. We did do some off-screen testing, and unfortunately, it just turned out that the M3 was not the long-range killer that we had initially thought it was going to be. We went through some tests, experimented with different BBs. We have found that using 0.12 gram BBs does seem to work the best. Anything heavier than that is going to greatly decrease your range. But I have a target set up at about 50 feet out. I'm going to go ahead and just fire this bad boy right now. All right, we're going to have to compensate a little bit, slightly lob it. Let's see what sort of accuracy we're looking at. And firing. Oh, not bad. I mean, I missed, but it actually hit the fence, so it definitely has the potential to hit a target 50 feet out, so good. There's at least that. All right, so we backed it up. We're now at about closer to 80-ish feet. Same thing, we loaded up with 1.2s as well. Put a little bit of tape, which we highly recommend you do if you want to have the projectile stay as a projectile as opposed to just a standard shower. That really helps keep the actual shell in place for a lot longer, at least until it impacts. But we're gonna go and test this out as well. 80-ish feet, I'm gonna have to compensate a little bit more, potentially. All right, and firing. Okay, so it actually still can reach out to 80 feet. That is actually really good to see. Again, I'm just a terrible shot with this thing, but I mean, you know, eventually I'll get them. All right, so you guys have seen what it looks like when we tape up the shell itself, but for those that are curious as to what it might look like when you don't and you just leave it raw, let's go ahead and find out so we can show it for you. And firing. So just a big shower at the end of the day, but it's still really, really fun to use. Man, that was an absolute blast to shoot. But you might be wondering now, what exactly is the cost on the M3? Well, right now the Elite Force M3 MAAWS 65mm gas launcher retails at Airsoft GI for $700. Make sure to take advantage of the Wombo combo, get automatic free shipping and reward store credit. All right, so closing thoughts. What do I think about the Elite Force M3 MAAWS gas launcher? I think it's really cool. I think it's a really, really cool launcher. It's a cool system that exists out there, but I can definitely see this is not the long-range launcher that we all were hoping that it was gonna be. At least not yet, anyway. Just the design of it, the shells that it's using are just a little bit too fragile. Using anything more than like a 0.12 BB is gonna be a little too heavy. You can definitely see that there is a major drawback with using 0.20 gram BBs or heavier. You're just not gonna be getting that range necessary, even for like 50-ish feet accurately, right? As is right now, even with 0.12s, we're only looking really about like maybe 100, maybe 110-ish feet. Before anything after that, it's just not gonna be able to reach, at least not yet anyway. This is gonna be one of those platforms that is going to heavily rely on the aftermarket scene to keep it going, and I want that. I definitely want that to be a thing because I see a lot of potential. I think it is really cool. I think it is really realistic. I love the fact that you have external shells that you have to load up as well, and you can choose whatever type of ammunition you like. I think that's a really dope design, and I applaud Elite Force for doing that and taking a risk with this bad boy. But, you know, at the end of the day, it is still a fun launcher. It's a different alternative as opposed to just your regular 203, and I'm anxious to see what the aftermarket can do to go ahead and help keep this bad boy up and running. Thank you guys for watching this overview of the Elite Force M3 MAAWS gas launcher. If you guys like the content that you're seeing, make sure to go ahead and leave a thumbs up, and make sure you hit that bell icon so you're notified every time we drop all this free, awesome content for you guys. If you want to go ahead and support the channel directly, make sure to go ahead and buy all your Airsoft goods from airsoftgi.com or from the California Custom Showroom and Lounge. My name is Isaiah, and I will see you guys all on the next one.